Hello and welcome in.
Please do not leave your luggage unattended on the station.
Welcome to the show.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. As Jesse's infamous voice said to you, this is going to be a Guerilla Sports Daily. We're going to talk through a few things, just hang out and chat. So if you guys are already here, I already see Cedric here. Cedric, you are always here hanging out. I'm hopping on Twitter really quick, you guys, because I want to let people know that we are here. I'm going to say happy Friday. We are live. Come hang. Okay. Well, I'm filming from home today. As you can see, our studio gets nice and booked up, which I love because, like I've talked many times with you guys about, Guerilla Sports is growing, and we have a lot of really exciting things kind of on the horizon. So bear with us anytime I have to be from home. Hopefully we can keep the quality high. I'm going to upgrade some of my equipment in here, but we will always make sure that you are covered on Guerilla Sports Dailies 5 days a week, as well as all of our normally scheduled shows. So thank you guys so much for being here. Happy Friday. If you have any exciting weekend plans, feel free to drop those down. Big baby Jonathan is also here. Appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for always tuning in, hanging out with me. Means the world. So much love for you guys. Let's get into the things I want to talk about. Interesting day for Denver sports this week or yesterday. Although I don't think the Avs play. The Avs did play maybe yesterday or the day before. But our Colorado Avalanche, listen, they were kind of on a slow start here this season. I was kind of feeling a little worried, like, whoa, what are we gonna do? Started their season not so great, but now they are 4-4. So I believe they lost their first 4. Then they went on a 4-game winning streak. I could probably actually pull it up right here. Okay, those are preseason games. Yes, we had them lose against the Golden Knights, lose against the Blue Jackets, lose against the Islanders, lose against the Bruins, and then they got their rhythm. Against the Ducks, they won. Against the Sharks, they won. Against the Kraken, they won. And against Utah just the other night, and it was last night, they also got a dub. So 4 losses in a row, then 4 wins in a row, finally finding some rhythm there for our Colorado Avalanche. Listen, I'm hoping the same thing will apply for this Denver Nuggets team, although I'm hoping it doesn't take 4 games to make it happen. The Denver Nuggets falling short. I don't even know if you can call that short. Falling kind of long, actually, against the Oklahoma City Thunder. This OKC team was the number 1 seed in the Western Conference last year. So, of course, there was the expectation that this game would be close. It would be competitive. OKC, they are young, they are athletic, and they are a lot hungrier than the Denver Nuggets. That is what I watched with my own 2 eyes last night in Ball Arena. The Nuggets looked slow. They looked old. They looked tired. OKC looked young, hungry, and competitive. And if you put those 2 things up against each other, I'm pretty sure you know how this story ends. OKC got the dub by a lot. The Nuggets did not look good. They looked, again, just tired, which is a little concerning considering it's game 1 of a very long season. I don't think if they are already exhausted, I don't see that changing by game 25 or game 50 or game 80. So, yeah, it's going to be a long season. Didn't love what I saw last night from the Denver Nuggets, but there is a Nuggets game that I will be attending tomorrow against the Clippers. Hopefully it's a good bounce back spot for this Nuggets team. I think they know what they need to work on, and the list is pretty long. So hopefully they're in the gym today making some things happen because they do play again tomorrow. And listen, these are real games that really matter now. We are in the regular season, so you kind of got to toughen up and make things work. So anyway, lots of stuff that we need the Nuggets to fix, and hopefully they can do that by tomorrow so that they can remain competitive in the Western Conference. Okay, let's talk a little football, shall we? As you guys know, the Broncos play this weekend. I will also be at that game. It's against the Carolina Panthers, one of actually the second highest spread on the slate belongs to the Denver Broncos. Does that terrify me? Yes, it absolutely does. Right now, I believe the Broncos are favored by 10.5 points at home against the Carolina Panthers. If you've watched the Panthers this season, you know it's been a tough year for them. in any other, weekend, I would say, hey, this is a good breathing room game for this Broncos team. Hopefully they can, continue to build off of their rhythm that they've got here. They took an L to the Chargers, but then found a really, really strong way to bounce back against the Saints. They had a mini bye week, so they should be rested. Hopefully more rested than the Denver Nuggets looked, because that was bad. But yes, the Broncos taking on the Panthers. This should be an easy win for the Broncos, but anytime I say that, it ends up not being that. So maybe I'll keep my mouth shut and I'll just let the fellas play football. But the Broncos are the second highest spread on the slate. The first highest is the Lions, okay? The Lions taking on the Tennessee Titans. Listen, the Titans have been on the struggle bus, absolutely. And the Lions dominating right now. Honestly, I would say the Lions are playing the best football in the NFL right now, and it's not even close. We saw Sam Darnold and the Minnesota Vikings start their season 5-0. Then they took on the Lions, and the Lions took them down, okay? So the Vikings, another L last night to the Rams, kind of in a tough spot. But this Lions team, to me, is playing the best football. If they continue to play this way, I don't know how you don't love them coming out of the NFC and competing for a Super Bowl. They are playing that good right now. So it's been really fun to watch. But they do have a very high spread. I saw it as high as 12.5 for this Lions team as a favorite against the Titans. Now, listen. Detroit is a pretty impressive 5-1 against the spread this season, meaning they are covering in 83.3% of the games that they play. I know it's still early in the season, but they are doing very, very well. Now, they're coming off of a win. They're looking pretty sharp. I think there's a lot of excitement around this Detroit Lions team, but I got to tell you, I don't love a spread that high. I really, really don't. That being said, Tennessee is 1-5 against the spread. So they are covering in 16.7% of the games that they play. Yeah, they're not a cover machine. The Lions most certainly are. And when we look at this matchup head to head, listen, I know the Titans in years past probably have had more weapons. They just lost one. They probably had more weapons. They probably maybe had a more reliable quarterback, although the Titans, to me, it's kind of been this ever-flowing, like, you don't know what you're going to get. The Titans right now are on a 2-game losing streak. Meanwhile, the Lions are on a 4-game winning streak. But we know what happens sometimes when you're just coasting on that, everything's good, life is, when you let your guard down, that's exactly when we see these games get too close for comfort and or just not work in favor of the favorite. A lot of times the teams that should win and it's a no-brainer game, you end up having some problems. So when we're looking at these two teams head-to-head over the last few years, Tennessee, the last time these two teams played actually was in 2020. So very different squad that we're working with here. But Tennessee has won 3, all 3 games that they've played against this Lions team since the year 2020 and all the way back to 2012. So we haven't seen these two teams match up very often. Oftentimes we see it's kind of hard to prepare for a team that you don't see all the time, right? Although the 49ers playing the Chiefs often still didn't matter. The Chiefs found a way to get it done. But when you see a team a lot more often, a lot more frequently, I feel like there's a little bit of preparation that you can put in place. You kind of know how they play, the level of aggression they're going to play with, and you can prepare for that. In this case, there's not a ton of preparing, but I will say I don't love a high spread like 12.5. Now, every time I say that, the favorite ends up dominating. The Lions look great, and so hard to fade them in the spot. But I just want to caution you that these are typically the games when the favorite is favored by double digits and they're on a 4-game winning streak and they've looked the best they've ever looked. They let their guard down a little. I'm not saying the Titans are going to win this game, but I am saying I could see a sneaky cover here. 12.5 is a lot of points. So just keep that in mind. I also want to talk about another matchup here. Let me see. I want to talk about another one. Let's talk about Cardinals versus the Dolphins. Look, the Dolphins are on the struggle bus right now, and we knew that they would be the moment that they lost Tua. Now, Tua, from what I understand, is anticipating making a return this season. When that is, I'm not sure. I would really, really hope that they are taking their time with that process. There is no sense in rushing Tua back into this game. His brain health is too important. So I don't want to see him rush back into this one too quickly. So, the Dolphins on the struggle bus. The Cardinals just took on the Chargers, a very good team, a solid defense, a really great run game. The Chargers are looking pretty sharp this year, but the Cardinals found a way to get it done. And honestly, with Kyler Murray on the field, I don't think you can count this Cardinals team out ever. He's a very mobile and athletic and fast quarterback that can make plays happen himself with his own 2 feet. I really have enjoyed watching this Cardinals team play this season. So that being said, to me, this is another letdown spot for the Dolphins. Despite the Dolphins, I believe, having home field advantage here, if I'm not mistaken. They do. And when we see these two teams play, so I'm sorry, can I speak? I don't think I can. The Dolphins in the last 5. Loss, win, loss. Okay? It's been tough for them. Tua is playing. Oh, this just in. Tua is playing. Oh! Okay. Well, there you go. Now, is there going to be a level of Tua playing with a little bit of timidness? Honestly, the dude seems unfazed by what's been going on. He really does. When he's asked about it, he's like, personal decision. I'm not doing that. Thanks for asking the question. Goodbye. I'll see you Sunday. Okay. All right, Tua. Love to see it. Love the energy. But at the end of the day, we know there is that level, I would imagine, of just being a human being and saying, yeah, I'm a little nervous to make my return, or I'm not sure how this is going to go. The Cardinals, to me, playing really great offensively as of late. So maybe this is a high-scoring affair. Right now, the total's at 46.5. Maybe we see a battle back and forth. But I can't imagine throwing Tua right back into the mix is going to automatically make this team click because they've had a lot of issues. Hello to all of you that are just jumping in. Hey. Woo. So yeah, that being said, listen, I think this could be a really competitive game here. I think I would still back the Cardinals, to be completely honest with you. The line is kind of floating around 3.5, 4.5. I would probably still back them. I think this could be a field goal game, and I do think the Cardinals are better than their record. Let me start there. The Cardinals are a not so impressive 3-4. I think they're better than what their record shows. The Dolphins, of course, 2-4. However, losing Tua made a huge difference. Now that Tua's back, I think they can obviously find some rhythm again. But I think the Cardinals, way better than their record. They've actually been pretty competitive against some pretty great teams. They beat the Chargers. They got whooped by the Packers, unfortunately, but they beat the 49ers. Got whooped by the Commanders, and then kept it relatively close, a one-possession game against the Lions. Listen, the Lions are playing the best football in the NFL, and the Dolphins are certainly not. So I think the Cardinals can keep this close. I like them to cover against the spread as the road dog. Tua's coming back on Sunday. I think it'll be interesting to see what he looks like. Jaden Daniels may be out on Sunday, one of these comments reads. So listen, Commanders, I didn't have them on my list of people to talk about here. Playing the Chicago Bears. You know what? Take the Bears. Without Jaden Daniels, I'm not sure what this Commanders team looks like. He pretty much is the most exciting piece to this offense right now. So, yeah, I would go ahead and say take the Bears in this spot. Bears are 4-2 right now. The Commanders are 5-2. Both of these teams playing great football. Back the Bears. Back the Bears there if Jaden Daniels can't play, because to me, he is the offense. So there you have it. All right. Final game I wanted to talk to you guys about is Ravens versus Browns. Listen, I'm not going to sit on my soapbox and tell you we're not even going to say the DW word. Why? Because I don't give a shit about it, okay? I am sorry to him for being out, and that's all. Okay, moving on. DTR, however, stepping into that quarterback position, I would believe. And listen, there's been a few Cleveland games last year that I watched where I was pretty impressed with the backup being able to slide into that spot. Listen, I think if you're in Cleveland and you're a backup quarterback, at any given moment you could be out there. And at any given moment, you could actually be the starter. There's a lot of off-field issues over there in their quarterback room, okay? A lot of mental issues over there in the quarterback room. So as a backup quarterback, I'm sitting there going, hey, listen, there's an opportunity for me here, right? There is an opportunity for me to shine if that's, if I am called to assume the position that maybe I should use better wording as it pertains to Cleveland. Let me not say assume the position, okay? Let me say something else. Let me say that I think that DTR has the potential to keep this game close. Now, listen, the spread as of now, it's pretty high. It's pretty high, which for good reason. The Baltimore Ravens are playing excellent football. To be honest, I'd probably have them coming out of the AFC right now. But 8 points is a lot of points. And it's actually at 8.5 in some books. So that's a lot of points. The Cleveland Browns have got to win a game at some point, you guys. They are on a 5-game losing streak. 5 games, okay? It's not looking good. And the Ravens are on a 5-game winning streak. Remember what I talked about. When these teams start to coast, when they start to get this much comfortable, those are the games that you got to watch out for because, you know what? At the end of the day, injured roster or not, these are still NFL players that play in the NFL. These are still football players that play in the NFL, the highest level of football, right? DTR, to me, a lot of potential there to be great. I don't think he's going to play a perfect football game, but there may be also an ounce of the locker room that really wants to allow DTR to shine because that might be their guy. Obviously, Deshaun Watson, didn't want to say his name. DW got injured. He's out, okay? But what does this year and beyond look like? Listen, this is a really great opportunity as a backup quarterback to prove that you can do this, right? So I think that anytime we see a new quarterback step into a position, it's easy to say, I don't trust them. But also, the Ravens may let their guard down because it's not DW. And, you know, they've been winning football games. They look really good. So I like this spot. I like a sneaky little Cleveland cover here. Cleveland playing at home. The fans, I'm not saying I agree with what the fans did. Jameis Winston starts for the Browns. Well, I've got listed here DTR. So listen, there's a chance that we see, I'm fine with either of those, to be honest with you. I'm fine with either of those options. And I think that it could be enough. It will be enough for the Browns to cover at home. Now, the other piece of this, I'm not saying I agree with how Browns fans behave. Some of them are insane. There's probably going to be a much more positive energy flying through that stadium. I'm just saying. Not saying that I agree with that being the case, but I would imagine there's a lot of people that aren't necessarily all that upset that their starting quarterback changed. Just saying. So there's going to be a different energy in that stadium. Again, I think that the Ravens could go into this spot, let their guard down a little bit. Maybe not a good idea. I'm just saying sneaky cover at home by the Browns. 8.5 is a lot of points. That's where I'm at. So, okay. That being said, you guys, this has been Guerilla Sports Daily with Liv Moods. What do you know it? And I will be getting you guys content and coverage of the Denver Nuggets tomorrow against the Clippers. Honestly, I might have to drink a glass of wine before that game. I'm just being real. You know, it's one of those where I'm just like, oh, wow. Yeah, they're starting to stress me out just a smidge, but that's okay. Game 1 of 80-something, okay? So, let's just chill. Let's chill. There's no need to panic here, folks. It's one game. The Nuggets will bounce back. I sure hope they will. But that being said, this has been another Guerilla Sports Daily. I'm Liv Moods, and don't go anywhere, please, because 40 minutes from now, I will be joined by my 2 besties. Actually, it might just be one of my besties today. Nonetheless, I will be joined by Nate Jackson and BK for an episode of Off Field, where we're going to break down the Broncos taking on the Carolina Panthers at home as the second highest spread on the slate for Sunday. We're excited to break it down for you, so don't go anywhere. 40 minutes from now, we will be live talking all things football and Denver Broncos. So thanks for hanging, you guys. Much love. We've got a Cardinals cover, we've got a Browns cover, and we've got, honestly, probably a Lion. No, we're going to let the dogs bark this weekend. Titans, Cardinals, and Browns. I actually wouldn't bet on the Lions game at all. I just more so wanted to break down the fact that they have the second largest or the largest slate spread on the slate. So anyway, don't bet it. I'm not making sense. I was up very late. I left the studio last night at midnight. So if I'm not making sense, yeah, I just expect it. But 40 minutes from now, we're going live for Off Field, talking all things football. So we'll see you then. Thanks for hanging. Happy Friday and have a wonderful weekend. Bye.